Hello aspirants, and a very warm welcome back to Rungta IAS Academy. Today we're bringing you a highly critical explainer, one that has immense probability of showing up in your upcoming GS Paper 3 mains, and for sure your personality test.
Absolutely, sir. We're breaking down the latest Reserve Bank of India data on our balance of payments. You know, understanding the exact mechanics of how dollars flow in and out of our country. It's basically the bedrock of your economy preparation. So let's decode this together.
All right, look at this stark plunge for 2025-26. Our balance of payments deficit has just dropped to a negative $30.8 billion.
Which is a staggering shift, honestly.
Exactly. I mean, we're looking at a more than six-fold deficit increase over the previous year. And here's the crucial part for your main answers. How was it funded? Well, it was entirely paid for by denting the RBI's foreign exchange reserves.
Now, before we dive into the why of it all, let's quickly brush up on some conceptual clarity. UPSC evaluators absolutely look for this. The overall balance of payments is a combination of two distinct things, the current account and the capital account. A very, very important distinction to make. Yes, it is. The current account captures India's trade in goods and services along with cross-border financial transactions. The capital account, on the other hand, deals mostly with investments, so direct and portfolio, plus external borrowings and asset transfers. Keep these definitions crystal clear in your head.
So, let's look at the current account deficit, or CAD. As you know, India generally runs a CAD because we just import way more than we export. But notice the nuance in this latest data. The CAD actually hit a three-year high of $30.2 billion in 2025-26.
But wait, didn't our merchandise trade deficit actually improve?
Spot on, ma'am, it did. The merchandise trade deficit, that's goods imported versus exported, actually went down to $251.6 billion. But here's the catch. Our surplus in invisibles, or services trade, shrank even more, falling to $221.4 billion. So because the services surplus shrank faster than the goods deficit improved, the overall current account deficit actually widened.
Right, so that's the current account. Let's pivot to the capital account. Look at this massive figure, $89.4 billion. I want you to cast your minds back to the financial year 2023-24.
Ah, yes, the big surplus year.
Precisely. That year, our capital account surplus was so massive at $89.4 billion that it completely dwarfed the CAD, which was sitting at just $26.1 billion. And that huge capital influx, that's what gave us a really comfortable overall BOP surplus of $63.7 billion back then.
But fast forward to 2025-26, and we are looking at a shocking contrast. We've dropped from billions to millions. Look at this figure. Just $72 million.
It's a complete crash.
Literally a 99.5% crash in the capital account surplus compared to just a year prior. Aspirants, this drastic shift right here is the very core of our current macroeconomic vulnerability. You absolutely must highlight this data point to show depth in your exam analysis.
Exactly. So for your mains answer structures, if they ask you why the capital account squeezed so badly, you need to write down these three exact points. Number one, under the other capital heading, we saw Indians parking their funds abroad. Number two, we experienced delayed export receipts and advanced payments for imports.
And the third point is the real kicker.
For sure. The third major factor was the massive outflow of foreign portfolio investors, or FPIs. RBI data shows FPIs pulled out $4.3 billion more than they put in during 2025-26. That completely reversed the positive trend of the previous 2 years.
Okay, let's shift gears to the interview stage. The panel loves connecting dry data to current events. Imagine they throw this mock question at you. Why did the Prime Minister recently advise citizens to reduce their fuel consumption and gold purchases?
It's a brilliant question and very highly probable. You cannot just dismiss this as a political soundbite. As a serious aspirant, you have to frame the PM's advice straight through the lens of this BOP crisis. Let's look at exactly how you should answer it.
To nail that interview question, you have to explain the structural drain on our dollars. The logic is simple, but it's severe. Point one, India imports nearly 90% of its oil requirement. Point two, we have this insatiable domestic demand for gold. And point three, India produces absolutely zero gold domestically.
It really is a double whammy for our economy.
Exactly, sir. Because of this, a colossal portion of our precious dollar outflows goes straight into paying for this unavoidable structural dependence on oil and gold. And this structural drain forces the government's hand. How does this theory translate into actual fiscal action? Well, to stem the bleeding of our dollars, the government hiked the import duty on gold and silver all the way up to 15%. That's a huge jump from the previous 6%.
They also put strict restrictions on importing most kinds of silver.
Right. It's a classic textbook policy measure. You artificially make imports much more expensive to curb that domestic demand that's just draining our Forex reserves. Which brings us to the ultimate analytical anchor for your GS3 essays. We want to leave you with this provocative thought. If foreign portfolio investor outflows just keep continuing, can the RBI's Forex reserves indefinitely cushion our structural import dependencies? Sir.
It truly is a billion-dollar question. You need to ponder whether temporary tariff hikes are enough or if we desperately need deeper structural reforms to boost our exports. We really hope this explainer has equipped you with the clarity you need. Keep setting hard, and we wish you the absolute best in your preparation.